So welcome back everyone, this is part 3 of the walkthrough. In the last section all we did was Forsaken Fortress, but that was pretty major because it was the first sort of dungeon in the game, in the first place with any real tricks. This section is going to be a lot more laid back than that. There's nothing too serious going on here. We're just gonna get the sail and then head to the first dungeon. Most of it's cutscene, but there's still a few things that I need to explain along the way because, you know, there's a few tricks that you need to be able to do because they save a lot of time. So, you know, you just roll up this way, get the sail from him, which is the reason we got the money from Grandma's house, and then roll back to the boat. Just cycle through his text really quickly. So just equip the sail. What we're going to be doing here is called sail pumping, which is just simply pulling the sail out and putting it away really quickly. Well, not really quickly, but like quickly enough that you get like a little boost every time you pull it out. You'll notice that the boat kind of shifts forward quite quickly whenever I pull the sail out. That little boost only lasts for like half a second, and then he sort of goes down to normal speed like this. But the idea is to keep doing this over and over again because it actually ends up saving quite a lot of time because there's a lot of sailing in this game. I've heard estimates of like 7 seconds per quadrant, which is a lot. I mean, that adds up a lot for a full run. But it only really works if you do it at a certain rhythm. Like if you do it too quickly, he doesn't really get the boost every time. As you can see here, he's only getting it sometimes. If you do it too slowly, you know, he's going to be sailing at kind of normal sail speed for a lot of that. So you want to get a good rhythm like this. You can sort of hear me pressing the buttons, which is the sort of rhythm you want to do. I prefer to have the sail on Y, but some people prefer to have it on Z. It's just whatever's more comfortable for you. I think it's easier on Y because Z is kind of like it's harder to press than the other buttons, but it's different for everyone. So we're at Dragon Roost Island now, and we're about to get the Wind Waker. This stuff can't be skipped, so you just have to wait through it. Kinda wonder how that got in his mouth. This boat's pretty amazing. I mean, he sailed across the ocean without a sail to get to Windfall, and then stuff can just appear in his mouth. I feel like a lot of this is kind of self-explanatory, and you really don't have to like play it right now to understand how to use the instrument. I guess it's just for people like me that don't read the text. Kind of forces you to learn. Something that was asked a lot on the first 2 videos for this series was, am I playing it at the same time as commentating? And the answer is yes. Hopefully you can tell that from all the button mashing, but yeah. I'm doing these live. I haven't rehearsed it at all, it's all just improvised on the spot. I feel like it's the most sort of natural and best way to do it. Something else that was asked a lot is, am I Scottish? And the answer is yes, I am. Oops, that was a bonk. So this is the first song that we learned for the Wind Waker, and is also the most useful one up until like the second half of the game. Just needed to change the direction of the wind, which obviously speeds up your sailing a lot. This guy talks a lot, or he talks a lot in English. In Japanese he actually talks like hardly any. It's really cool. In fact, his text is so fast on Japanese that when he's done, Beedle's boat is actually blocking your path back to the mainland. But that's not going to be an issue for us because we're playing on English right now. I can't believe Cyclos gets a plaque here. I mean, the guy's like an asshole. I don't know why anyone would ever honour him like that. He's been known to screw over some speedruns in the past. So the next thing we're going to do is, like normally you're supposed to go all the way around there and blow up all these rocks, but that takes forever. So we're going to just sort of jump on here and get Link in this little, what you can see like a sort of circle on the rock. Just get him somewhere in that, and then just go into C up mode and align the left side of the B button somewhere near this black line. It doesn't have to be exact. And just come out of it, run forward and roll. And I didn't make it, but that's fine. That just means my angle is bad. So you just go back on and realign, this time a little bit more to the left, and do the same thing, and you'll jump up. So what you want to do now is pick up this bomb and just put it here, and actually you should hit the bomb because that makes it explode quicker, and that knocks those blocks down. And that's going to be handy because later on we're going to come back here after, well, just before the Earth Temple actually, but that's quite a bit into the game, so we won't have to worry about that for now. So yeah, for the first like half of this game, this guy kind of follows you around, talks to you. He's kind of similar to the owl, I guess, from Ocarina of Time. But he doesn't try to trick you by putting the bad option at the top of his text, like, do you want to hear that again? Yes. And this right here is probably the longest cutscene, or one of the longest cutscenes in the game. It's really, really, really long, and there's just nothing you can do about it but wait. Like, even on Japanese, this one is incredibly long. I mean, there's no way anyone reads all of this crap. It's just not interesting. It's kind of interesting how, like, later on in the game you learn that these people evolved from the Zoras. Like, I don't understand how that makes any sense, because the whole point is that the place was flooded and the Zoras are the only race that could, like, maybe adapt to that. And they're the ones that evolved the most. I don't know, it's kind of weird. These guys in the background look like they're stoned. In fact, I think everyone in here looks like that except for the postman and the chieftain. Now we're getting another useless bag. Well, actually no, this one isn't useless. This one has one use, unlike the spoils bag, which has no uses. But after we exit this place, it's going to be completely useless for the rest of the game. Right, so finally, we've got control of Link again. We just want to go up and see Medley now. She's going to give us a letter to give to the prince. But you would never know who this is for unless you, like, read this stuff, which nobody really does because it's so long. And we're speedrunners anyway, so we don't really pay attention to it. So again, I just rolled off and then let go of the analog stick, and that kind of got Link to hang off the edge, and then you just drop down. It's the quickest way. So we'll just equip this letter. Oops, bonk on the door. We're going to give the letter to Kamali. None of this stuff can be avoided. You have to like actually get the letter and give it to him for Medley to appear outside. At least this text is really fast. Those doors look kinda menacing. Like they're gonna eat you. So we just go through this door now and we're outside. The wind in this place actually changes on its own. It goes in like a set pattern. I think it's like east, south, west, north or something. And it just kind of goes through that cycle over and over again. So it doesn't really matter if you're slow at talking to her, because you have to wait for it to get to north anyway before you can throw her. Because her text ends at a kind of convenient time. I think it's like when the wind just changes west, so it only takes a few more seconds for it to go north. What an interesting backstory she has. She's pretty useful later in the game though, in the Earth Temple. She helps us skip the boss key. So yeah, the wind is it's going west right now and it's about to go north. And that's when we're gonna throw her, and she'll make it up there. So now we're going to get a bottle and just fill it with some water. Okay, finally she stopped talking, so we can just pause and equip this now. Jump slashes are pretty useful in this game for getting onto ledges. You can make it onto a lot of ledges where it doesn't really look like you would make it, but I don't know, it has a lot of height in this game, unlike some other games like Ocarina of Time, where it's mostly useless. You can try and run away during this cutscene, but Link like always comes back to the same spot. You can sort of see him walking back to where I was there, so there's no actual point to trying to move away. It doesn't save any time. So now the water's out and we can swim across there and make it to the first dungeon. There really isn't a lot to say in this section, to be honest. Most of it, as I said, was cutscene, and yeah. So you want to just throw this bomb into the pot. There is something you can do here where you can like get boosted across the second part with a bomb, but I find it to be inconsistent. If you fail it, you land in the lava, puts you all the way back at the start of the area, and just wastes way more time than it would save. Saves maybe 2 seconds. So you want to just kind of angle them like I did there and throw the second bomb into the second pot, and you'll make it just fine. So this is the first dungeon. We're just going to save the game here because that's the end of this video, and the next one is going to be, you know, a walkthrough of this dungeon, which is where the game really starts to get good in my opinion. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.